Yes, I'd like to bring up a matter that took place on November 3rd, Wednesday, when we were doing the mail ballots from the election day. That we had our recently re-elected Mayor Sherry Capello in the room, and with about 5 minutes to spare after an hour and a half of work, Commissioner Litz requested that she be ejected from the meeting because it was illegal for her to be there, citing that it was the law that she was violating by being there. And so, you know, checking around in different areas, we felt that was unprecedented, at least in my experience, and very, you know, anti-transparency, certainly, for someone who's advocated in that area forever, especially with elections, that we would have to, you know, ask her if someone be ejected from that meeting. So, you know, in checking both locally and with the election code, I just wanted to pass out to the folks so there's clarity going forward. And I'd even like to go a step further and say that I think Commissioner Litz, after seeing what the actual election code calls for, would owe Mayor Capello an apology in public, as she, you know, was embarrassed in public by being ejected from that meeting. So I'd like to just pass out the copies of it. I only have 2 more. I'd like to give it to this.
Commissioner Litz, do you care to comment?
Yes, I didn't know if he was done. I thought I would wait my turn. You know, I was sitting in the computation and I saw Sherry come in, and she sat at the back of the room in the area where observers were to sit, and I was told that she was a representative of the Republican Party. And it didn't dawn on me that she was also a candidate. I mean, I was concentrating on what I was doing. And then as time went on, she stood and came over and stood by the table where Tracy, who was operating the machine for us, started laying all of the ballots. And at that point, Sherry was standing 1 foot from the ballots, and you're supposed to be 6 feet away. And that really made me uncomfortable. And I was processing things, and then she started asking questions. And it was also my understanding that questions are not to be asked of the staff at that point because it interferes with the election and the count.
Is that the law?
And this is what I read in a Patriot News article on the front page just this past week. And we also have what I would call step-by-step instructions for our judges of election. And at that point, they have to follow these, and so do we. And in here on page 5, number 3 says, prohibited from the polling room candidates unless they are in line to vote. And
the polling room.
Right.
For
now,
clarification.
This is also when they're counting the ballots at night. And this is equivalent. And you know, I don't know why they changed terminology. At the poll you have watchers, and here you have observers, but it's the same thing. So I don't know why the state didn't keep the terminology consistent. But yesterday I was on a call with the county commissioners from across the state.
As was I.
And I asked the question, do you follow the same rules when you're counting the ballots as you do when you're in the computation for the write-in ballots? It's essentially a polling place that you're counting ballots, but for people who didn't come in present physically, they mailed them in. And the answer confirmed by 2 commissioners was, yes, we follow the same rules.
That's not true, Commissioner Litz.
Now, sir, I am talking. You gave me the floor. Let me finish.
Yeah. I was on that call as well.
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, because I wasn't. And you were rude cutting in.
Well, you've never been rude to me, so thank you.
You're welcome. So I gently and as humbly as I could said to Sherry, I don't know that you should be here. And she took offense to that and she left of her own accord. I in no way personally ejected her. And so she said, I don't want my name spread all over the media. And because she left, I thought the issue was settled. And it was brought up today, so I do have to explain my thought process and share that I think that there is a conflict of interest because you guys set the rules back in the general primary election that no one else was allowed in that room, not the media and others. And we also have this set of rules that we have to follow. And so therefore, I was processing things, in which I told her. She said to me, why didn't you say something when I first came in? And I said, well, I've been processing things, and as things progressed, I realized that this was not appropriate. You can't be within a foot of those ballots if you are not a sworn-in person working on that election. And so therefore, I did what I thought was right, and I tried to do it in a respectful manner. And at this point, I think I will conclude my remarks. Thank you.
Yeah, since I brought this up, you're leaving out some of the gentle, part of the presentation that you made when you said you kept citing that this is the law. That was, you just skipped over that part in your review of your comments. But you used the law, and the law is that she can be there. And when did you ask for this list?
Does that matter?
Well, yeah, because you're citing it, but
because I had it many years ago, and I recalled it, and then I got a print.
But you're applying it to what we were doing Wednesday, and not to the polling places that they refer to.
It is the equivalent of a polling place, because we are counting the ballots for the write-ins. We should have this. Not write-ins, I apologize, mail-ins.
No one was voting in the room that we were in. The polling place,
they were counting
voting
them.
Takes place.
They were counting them.
I'll tell you.
Just like they do at the end of the poll.
The answer is no, you're not going to apologize. Is that correct? That's what I was asking.
And especially after reading the law. We gave you a copy of the law.
I gave you information that counteracts, and I think that it is up to an attorney or a judge to say.
Okay, then we'll defer to a future time when we can get those opinions and maybe take further action. Okay, thank you. Then that was all I wanted to bring to the fore for today. But if you're not going to, accept that you were quoting a law that was being misquoted, then I will have to go see where we can go further. Thank you. All right. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry. Sorry, folks.
Why are you sorry?
Huh? I didn't like it that our staff were present when you're embarrassing a sitting and duly re-elected mayor and quoting a law that doesn't exist. That the law is what I circulated here, and so it's unfortunate that that's what you chose to do, and now you refuse to apologize because you have figured out a way to explain your actions.
No, there were 3 specific violations. One was she was a candidate whose final count has not been certified by this board, so she was still an active candidate. 2, she was not 6 feet from the ballots. And 3, she was asking questions of staff, and she should not be interfering with the election. And I didn't know if she was there representing her son or herself, but either way, she was a candidate. And so I felt 3 specific laws were being possibly infringed upon, and I raised the question. And I was respectful in raising that question. And so therefore, every issue is argued by attorneys on both sides, and I think that I have credible reasons for at least raising the question.
Yes.
Where is the 6-foot rule? Is that in the local rules? It's not.
That's COVID.
I only ask that because Matt and I, members of the press, are sitting and we're not 6 feet from the ballots either. So I don't want to, be in trouble.
Yeah. Well, like I say, she was a foot from them, and I think you are 6 feet. I mean,
okay.
I can get this article.
There's not much gray in this law.
The law.
Every candidate shall be entitled to be present in person or by attorney in fact, duly authorized, and to participate in any proceeding before any county board whenever any matters which may affect his candidacy are being heard, including any computation and canvassing of returns of any primary or election of recount of ballots or recanvass of voting machines affecting his candidacy. So I mean, it's
pretty clear. That is the law.
That's the law that you ejected the mayor under which you were citing. That is totally, misrepresented. That's Bill.
No. Yes.
Are we allowed to ask questions at this time?
As far as I'm concerned, unless there's any objection, I believe in total transparency.
Thank you. My name is Thomas Cappello, and I would like to ask Commissioner Litz what we do then about Fifth Ward East. They were allowing a candidate, Arelis Figueroa, to go into the poll with them and sit with them and vote, and the Ninth Ward, same scenario. We can prove this. What do we do about that? Is there a form or something? What do you do about those complaints?
That I wasn't brought to my attention until now.
I'm bringing it to your attention right now because I didn't know when to do it.
It should have
called me
been
last night. What are you going to do about that? And I'm saying I'm not sure.
It should have been brought to the attention immediately so it could be addressed.
Okay, so what do you do about it?
Because it's passed, I don't know. That has to be in.
There is some. Can I say something?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
They should have called the election headquarters
We
right
told
away.
the people in the poll, and they said, "We'll take care of it."
Well, nobody did. We did not receive any calls.
Not me, but they did.
Right. In the polling box, there are things called challenges, and they should have went through and they could have challenged. So for future elections, if something like that happens, first call the polling place, and we will take care of that.
Well, we did tell the polling place, and they didn't tell us
Well,
anything about
then
challenges.
somebody should have called us directly. Okay.
You were too, I know.
No.
We're never too
That's
busy.
what we need to hear
That's
on
why we
election
want-
day. After the fact, we can't do anything about
We
it.
were all, I agree with the vote to vote.
Yeah,
and I
but
don't-
no, we need to know that, because the candidates, they can come in to vote if it's their polling place, but that's it. They are not, and it's very specific in our step-to-step guide, they are not allowed to be
Okay.
assisting
I'm
voters.
sure Commissioner Litz will look into that because I think it's very serious. And that's,
Well, just for future, call the election office. If
Absolutely.
you don't feel, the judge,
I hope
the
there's
judge
never
needs
a
to call,
future
and if
again
they don't
for
call,
us.
I think the person should take it upon themselves to call our office, and we will look into that. And there's always a thing in there about challenging, and it does go through the court system, and there is a fee.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
I think they'll look into it. Thank you.
You have another question for the Democratic representative who was at that meeting?
Yes.
My name is George Manderlink. I'm representing the Democratic Party. I was actually in the room when this incident occurred, and I think it's being somewhat mischaracterized by one of the commissioners. I did not hear anything so direct as to say the mayor was asked to leave the room or was ejected from the room. In my mind, as a person there, standing very close to all the parties involved, those words were never uttered. There was no forcible, there was no force involved. The mayor walked out of the room after the issue was raised as to whether it was appropriate for her to be there or not, of her own accord. Not an ejection.
She was told she was breaking the law, and so what is she to do? she's told by someone in, an authority figure in that room that she's breaking the law.
Perhaps. It wasn't stated in that way.
I'm not sure if the other witnesses
I don't
that
think you were in the room.
I was certainly there.
He was far away. He was up behind the desk.
I was certainly there. But